Welcome back, lords and ladies. King Barbara here, and I'm your host for this evening. So, what we are going to do is continue the story from previous story. Alright. Maybe she had a reason for saying that. Like, maybe, I don't know, do spells have side effects? You're just like Oni-sama. She forbade me too. But I showed her that spells can be useful and that I can control them. She let me do more research. I'm not going to throw spells around like they're nothing. I'm not a dumb little kid. I'm not going to do anything. Besides, you seem old enough to take care of yourself. Not that I know how old someone like you might be, but beware of the dark side of magic. Beware of the dark side! We have cookies and milk. Maybe some cake. In most stories, magic usually comes with a price. Like, what would you do if magic gave you a terrible tummy ache? Or headaches? Or worse, diarrhea? Dun dun dun! Then you better be prepared for prepare a gate spell to the nearest bathroom. Totally. I do get headaches, but they really aren't all that big a deal. And I get to do a lot of things for Oni-sama. I'm not going to change that ever, so there. I already said I wasn't going to make you do anything. However, if you want, what you do need to change is the fact that you're straddling me, and you're rather close, so I appreciate it if you get off. Aw, but you're so warm and soft. I could just curl up and sleep on you. Every guy's dream. But wait, don't go falling asleep on me. Just kidding. I wouldn't do something like that out here. Maybe tonight, though. It's only fair since Oni-sama got to do it. But more importantly, dessert! Dessert. I should have had some when I went to supper. But then again, I overate. It was not a pretty sight. Me being bloated, wobbling down the aisle just to pay my ticket. It was an embarrassing sight. Just kidding. But I was overstuffed. We went to get Chinese. Okay. We need to get back inside. Oni-sama is probably wondering, what's taking so long. I couldn't really argue with the girl's impeccable logic. With a smile, I helped the girl to her feet and gathered a few fallen apples into the basket. We returned to Machiko and enjoyed our dessert together. It wasn't too long after that Meiko started to feel sleepy, so Machiko took her to bed, wishing me a good night. The next morning, I woke the next morning to the sun filtering through the wooden blinds. Yawning loudly, the girls had very graciously given me an entire room to myself, and it was certainly a lot bigger than my room back home. Talk about a mansion. I've always wondered about these old Japanese style mansions with paper and wood frames. Would it cause an issue during the winter time? I bet it did. It was still early in the morning, likely a bit before breakfast. I decided to spend a short moment to gather my thoughts. It was clear that in order to learn more about my situation, I would need to pay a visit to the shrine. Maybe I could even find out the answers to some other questions that had been lingering in the back of my mind for a while now. The fact that Michiko seemed surprisingly nervous at the mention of Yuri's name made me wonder about the relationship. What could possibly happen to Michiko to react like that? So for you guys wondering why I'm struggling on some of these these words. Even though I do like learning Japanese, and do like speaking Japanese, I do have trouble pronunciating it without someone previously telling me how it's supposed to sound. So I'm trying to, because I'm naturally English. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem right there. Naturally English. The apparent hostility between the villagers and the fox spirits was another issue altogether. Of course, I couldn't forget about the fact that I needed to find a way to get home as well. Just as I finished gathering my thoughts, Mako's voice resounded from downstairs. "Takani, breakfast is ready. Could you get Oni-sama?" "Sure, we'll be right there." I quickly made my way out of the room, finding myself within one of the corridors of the mansion. Ooh, very nice looking corridor. Very pretty. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Michiko wandering down the corridor, her lips curved in a smile when she saw me. "No need to look for me, Taka-kan." Mako's voice reached me loud and clear. "Good morning, Michiko-san. Did you sleep well?" "It was a decent sleep, although perhaps a bit lonely. However, you seem to be getting along well with my little sister. Takani, was it? Perhaps I should consider you my rival in quest for the heart of our dear Mako-chan." "Heh, she seems to like it. I guess I'll be stuck with that name for a while." "Oh, is it not to your liking?" "Well, perhaps you'd prefer Darling instead." You watching us?" "Indeed. It was taking you both such a long time, I grew rather curious and snuck out." "But I didn't see you at all." "Well, I'm a fox spirit. Hiding myself from humans is like playing hide-and-seek with a child." "Then why didn't you use your hiding skills to hide from the guards?" "Now that you mention it, the thought never occurred to me." "Well, it certainly was fun getting chased by them." Unfortunately, Mako does not have the best control over her change. She is far too excitable and is unable to maintain the illusion. It is her one magical blind spot. I'm sure it wouldn't have been fun if Sudari Tyrant had caught you both." "That certainly would have been an unpleasant experience. Then again, I'm sure you would have ended up saving me, wouldn't you, Taka-kan?" I noticed a subtle change in Michiko's voice as the sweet sugar-coated words caused my cheek to flush red. I wasn't really good at dealing with this girl's flirty attitude. Stepping backwards, I turned towards the stairs at the end of the corridor and replied in a hurried tone, "Mako-chan is waiting for us." And with that, I rushed towards the kitchen with Michiko giggling beside me as she followed. Good morning, both of you. I fixed up some eggs and toast for you. There are some oranges, too." Wonderful. Thank you, little one. You're getting better at this. To wake up knowing a pretty girl made my breakfast, it's good to be alive. Perhaps you'd enjoy having one resting by your side as well. That's a bit overkill, especially considering the condition of said girl. I recall the sight of Michiko sleeping yesterday, and my cheeks immediately grew red. Quickly sat down at the table, trying to distract myself by changing the subject. "So, thanks to you two, I learned a little bit about this world. How about I return the favor and talk about mine? Do you have any questions anything you would want to ask?" "Oh, yes, I want to know. What are the spirits like in your world?" Spirits, you say?" I thought about her question for a moment before I replied with a sheepish grin. "Well, in my world, spirits only exist in folk tales. They appear in stories, and certain religions even worship them. But it's not like we got them running around like they do in this world." "Folk tales? Worship? Your world is strange, Taka-kan." Oh, that's kind of boring. What about your life? Are you a defender of your village? You said something about judo before. What is that? You mean judo. Well, in my world, people go to this place called school. It's basically a place of knowledge where you learn a lot about things before you're considered an adult in our society. But in my world, the defenders are known as the police. They keep things peaceful and such. I'm just a student. I guess you could say that I'm studying to become a defender, not just of my village, but of the whole country. It was a bit exaggerated, but it felt kind of nice to call myself a defender. Hee sounds weird. The police, like the army or something, defending the whole nation? Your world is very strange, Taka-kan. I wouldn't call it strange, Michiko-san. It's this world that's weird. But no, the police is like the guard in the village. We do have an actual army that defends the country, though. Either way, your world sounds like fun, especially if everyone's like you. Anyway, Oh, no, dang it. The oranges all had worms in them. Ew, Oni-sama. Did you forget to check them again? Oh, how terrible. I must have been overcome with fatigue and never gotten around to checking them properly. Boo! Big old lazy meanie. I'll have to go and get some apples instead. As Mako went outside to grab some apples, my eyes drifted towards Michiko, who was observing me with a content smile, clearly pleased with something. Oh yeah, just make those boobs really pronounced, why don't you? It's such a relief to see her in such a good mood. It's been a tough few months, I must admit. She's been upset that her magical skills have not been progressing as fast as they once did. We all have our ups and downs, especially when it comes to studying. I still remember how I used to dread exams. So little time for my judo. It made me rather sad at times. That does sound rather stressful. Tell me, Taka-kan. What is it that you study? I am intrigued by the school notion. Well, my situation's a bit different than most. Well, I go to school like everyone else. I actually aim to become an athlete. To explain it in the way you would understand, an athlete is someone who practices a certain sport. And those who are amongst the best end up representing their country. I have an upcoming tournament that will decide whether or not I will be able to represent my country in judo. I think I understand. Your focus is on your strength, while still gathering knowledge to allow yourself a multitude of options. An interesting method. I should thank you. I guess you could say it like that, but why thank me? I believe that your sudden appearance in our world has a lot to do with Mako's newfound joy. I can hear her singing something I have not heard in weeks. It warms my heart to see her so overjoyed. I believe it is because of you. Thank you, Taka-kan. I doubt that's the only reason, but you're welcome. I smiled bashfully at Michiko before continuing. Then again, I should also thank you for busting my rear out of jail. I don't want to think about what I would have been doing if I were still in the care of the Tsuneri tyrant. Haha, you are most welcome. But please do not be so hard on Miyo-chan. There are many things here beyond her control, but perhaps it is out of her hands for now. I still wish to thank you, Taka-kan. I would have been wondering how I might repay you for bringing such joy to Mako-chan. Repay me? For a moment, my thoughts drifted towards a certain idea, but my cheeks quickly turned scarlet red at the thought. I couldn't ask something like that of her. I'm not sure if I have anything in mind. I think your smile is enough. You are a true gentleman, Taka-kan. It's a shame, though. I was thinking such naughty thoughts, too. Oh, boy. The fox spirit giggled to herself as she turned towards the garden, watching Mako struggle to descend from one of the trees with an armful of apples. Mako-chan, there are only 3 of us. Your belly does not count for a 4th person. Speaking of a 4th person, it sounded like you two used to talk a lot with the spirit of the shrine. Why do you get so nervous whenever this Tsuyuri's involved? Yay! That's not important. Oh, it's a giant bird carrying the seed of the world tree. Oh, maybe it is. I should go and... Ah, Tsuyuri Dono, thank you for visiting us today. Michiko-san is right over there. Tsuyo, no, I'm sorry. I've just been terribly busy. Please forgive me, Tsuyuri-sama. I love these types of scenes. Too bad it's not being animated. Whoa, to think you get that flustered. Is she that much of an amazing person? You don't understand. It is complicated. There's a certain skill that I, as a fox spirit, possess. A subtle way of talking or acting that influence how people perceive me. They are, I suppose they would be considered social skills, but for spirits, Tsuyuri is capable of completely negating these and leaves me feeling rather nervous and helpless. I see. So basically she's immune to your flirting, and connected the dots in my head. I planted the palm of my hand against my forehead. Now I get it. You're afraid of approaching her because Yuri is a bigger flirt than you. But if she's flirting with you... Oh, I see. You swing that way. For some reason, I suddenly felt rather disappointed. That's not true. Well, maybe. I mean, she has an overpowering presence, and it does not allow me to properly, do my thing. I'm not sure what you meant by swinging, however. It, means that you know, like girls? Oh, really? Well, how about we forget about Tsuyuri for now? I show you exactly which way I do swing, Takakon. Oh, baby! She is such a flirt. That won't be necessary, but she must be quite a challenge to deal with, considering I briefly lowered my voice to a whisper. You already have a handful to deal with once you start your teasing. You're perhaps less the gentleman I thought you to be, Takakon. What am I, then? A lovable rogue, perhaps? Or maybe you see yourself more of a hero type? Of course I'm a hero, a perverted one, but a hero nonetheless. Oni-sama Takani. Welcome back, Mako-chan. How did the hunt for the golden apple go? No golden apples, but I got a load of good ones. Even one that's shaped like a heart. You can have that one, Takani. An apple shaped as a heart? Interesting. Does this mean you're confessing your love to me by giving this to me? Maybe I am. I seriously think Ichigawa would kill me if he saw me in my current situation. Yes, it would kill him. Why, thank you, fair lady. I shall savor every moment of its sweet flavor. Mako, how could you betray your love of me, your one and only sister? Did our time together mean nothing? Oh my! But I love you too, Oni-sama. I found a super big apple for you. Polygamy at its finest. Okay. Well, we'd better hurry up. We're going to go see Su-chan. Wait, what? I thought we would at least need to ask for her permission and wait until she grew bored enough to reply. I know, but when I was picking apples, I found one of her tiny familiars. She said she wanted to see us today. Oh, poopy. Alright, lords and ladies, so they have been invited to the shrine. I will catch you, lords and ladies, next episode, where we are going to have more rated PG-17. So I will catch you next time. Bye-bye now and enjoy.